Take 3. All right, so all right, it is October 2nd, 2019, which means the 2019-2020 season it will be upon us today. We have 4 games, I believe. Yep, 4 games. The Blackhawks don't play until October 4th. That is going to be against Philadelphia in Prague. So it's not going to be at Wells Fargo Center, thank goodness, because we have some crazy long losing streak in Philadelphia in the regular season. So yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, so I wasn't really going to be I wasn't going to be planning on making a video today, but I just got really hyped for the regular season, and I just really wanted to just get something out there. This is my 3rd try at making this video, so I guess I'm dedicated to this video now. Yeah. What was I going to say? Right. I also mentioned that I was going to be making a prediction video. I'm not the best at prediction videos, and I really didn't want to make this, but honestly, since I was so hyped about this season opener, I just decided, hey, why don't I just chip in my 2 cents on what I think the regular season is going to be like for the Blackhawks, and that's all I'm going to be doing is just the Blackhawks. I'm not as good as the Hockey Guy or all these other analysts around the league, so just going to be predicting where I think the Blackhawks will finish, and who I think will have great seasons, who I think need to have great seasons, and who I think will be the surprise contributors on this team. So yeah, I'm not that good yet. I'll only be doing the Blackhawks. Hopefully, if I another couple years at this, maybe I might be able to start doing my own bracket thingies or whatnot. Hopefully, that's sooner rather than later. I would love to get to that level of hockey expertise. I mean, I just love the sport, and I just love the teams that I like cheering for. I'm hoping that at least some of the teams that I'm following, hopefully some of them will make the playoffs this year, because I follow 5 teams. I follow the Blackhawks, obviously. My phone just went off. So for those of you old gamers that don't recognize that sound, you better get on that. For those of you that do recognize that sound, even if you're not an old time gamer, kudos. That is a very iconic sound, and it's actually it comes from a video game that actually came out the year that I was born. So I'm technically about a good when did that game even come out? I'm not gonna tell you guys the game, so you guys are gonna have to find that out for yourself. I am 10 months. Yeah, I'm 10 months older than this game. So really shows you how old I feel now. But that was a very landmark game. Revolutionized a lot of things that we. Well, I wouldn't say really revolutionized, because there's a certain game that actually did that better. But I mean, this game kind of it's an iconic game. Let's just say that. So, yeah. But anyways, it really shows you how much of a gaming nerd I really am. If the other day, if my last video really didn't do that for you. But yeah, going into the Blackhawks. So, over the past couple years, man, we've seen the Blackhawks go from winning the Western Conference to, in the regular season, winning the Western Conference in the regular season to 33, 39, and 10. So they went from 50 wins down to 33 wins. This past year, we saw them go up to 36 wins. Couldn't exactly make the playoffs. They were very close, though. But that seems to be a really big trend with some Chicago teams. I mean, I can give you a really big example right now. There you go. These guys. Yeah, really, really disappointed. What an incredible waste of talent. But we're not here to talk about the Cubs. We're here to talk about hockey, and we're here to talk about the Blackhawks. And yeah, so where I think they will be in the where I think they stand in the regular season this year. If we're following the trend, they should have around 40 wins, 39 to 40 wins. But that only puts them up to 80 points. And if I give them the average of 10 overtime losses, that'll put them to 90 points. That might be close, but considering how tough the Central Division is at the moment, I don't think that's going to crack it. 90 points isn't going to crack the playoffs, and I really want to predict this team to make the playoffs because they have the potential. I'm not going to be, a typical just like, crazy bandwagon fan and be like, yeah, we're totally going to make the playoffs. We're going to, steamroll everything, blah, blah, blah. I am as realistic as I can be, and I'm not just going to considerably inflate my teams, like the teams I cheer for. I'm not going to inflate their own stats just because I feel better about it and all that stuff. I'm going to try to be as realistic as I can. Now, going through some notes here. So the Blackhawks in the game against Berlin, their warm up lines. So they had Taves and Kane on the first line, back together on the first line, with Nylander on the left wing. Man, if I was Nylander, I would be not Willie Nylander, mind you. This is I think his name's Alex Nylander. So Willie Nylander, he's still in Toronto. This is his brother, Alex Nylander. And man, if I was Nylander, I would be completely just like I would be kind of pressured, to be honest. I would feel a lot of pressure being on the first line with Taves and Kane. I mean, there is a really, really, there's no doubt that at the very least Kane, but Taves, them both, there's a really high chance that once they retire, they're going to be in the Hall of Fame. And they're going to have their jerseys retired by Chicago. These guys are barely even 30 years old. They both won 3 Stanley Cups for Chicago, which is the same amount that Chicago had before they even drafted these two. So, these two players effectively doubled the Stanley Cup count for Chicago in just 6 years. And it took us something like 80 years. No. If you want to count up until the last time that they won the Stanley Cup in 1961 before these two, we would be looking at around 45 years. But if you want to go all the way up until they won it again, that would be like 80 something years. So yeah, it took it took them 6 years to do what so many other players had done across 85 years. There's no doubt, these guys are in the Hockey Hall of Fame, jersey retire, the whole legend stuff and everything. But let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about the present day Chicago Blackhawks. So Nylander, I hope that kid steps up. I see some really good talent in this guy. Hopefully he doesn't let this pressure get to him. Hopefully he does well on that first line. I mean, they should. Taves and Kane. I mean, Kane is a very fast player, and he's very dynamic. He loves all that stick handling and stuff like that. He loves those backhands. He just roofs them when you least expect it. And it's just Taves is like pretty much the only player I feel like to be able to really just to be able to really play on his speed. And having Nylander on that, I hope they have some good chemistry together. Which is what the second line, DeBrincat and Strome, have had back in the AHL with the Erie Otters. I think they're in the AHL. They might be in some other weird minor league team. But back in the Erie Otters, they had some really good chemistry as teammates. And, just having them back on the same team really should... we saw how Strome turned out. Strome completely exploded, compared to his time with Arizona. And then having Shaw back adds that, good, grit to our lineup. Hopefully he does well in his Blackhawks return. Third line, we have Saad, Kampf, and Kubalik. And then on the fourth line, we have Perlini, Carpenter, and Kajula. Perlini just signed a $875,000 extension. So I treat it as kind of like a show me contract. It's kind of like, obviously if he doesn't perform this season, he's going to be gone. But this is kind of a show me contract. Basically, we're not going to pay you what you want until you can prove to us that you deserve that amount of salary. So I really want him to step up. Considering that... Can you not be on that? I'm trying to make a video. Stop. Anyways, sorry about that. Things are going to happen. It's not a big deal. It's not a video-ending blunder. But considering how Strome has, basically just blossomed into this, player on the Chicago Blackhawks, Perlini was basically just a throw-in. Like, hey, we're going to throw in Perlini, just in case. Just for fun. And I just really want to see that, I just want to see Perlini do well. He had a really good run for like 2 weeks. And then the rest of his time in Chicago, it was easily forgettable, according to a lot of other, fans. And I don't know, I seem to follow that kid a lot more than most of the Blackhawks fans do. And I seem to like that kid more than most Blackhawks fans do. And, again, I really want to see him do well. Even though he's on the fourth line, I want to see him have good minutes out there on the ice. I want to see him, perform well. Don't commit too many giveaways, and be able to just rack up some points. Just get some good goals and stuff. Same with Kajula. I really want to see Kajula really step up and perform with the Blackhawks, and ever since he got traded from Edmonton, he's been a pretty different player. It's just it's really shocking how it changes scenery can really completely change a player. Again, going back to Strome, he was mediocre, I would say, with Arizona. Then he gets traded to Chicago, and he comes back, and he just reconnects with his old line mate, and boom, everybody just were like, whoa, this kid, just from that trade goes crazy. That chemistry that he shares with DeBrincat, it's insane. What they do out there on the ice, and having them back in in the same line and stuff like that. It's crazy. So I'm not concerned with the first and second lines at all. Third line, we have Saad. That contract is pretty bad. Not as bad as Seabrook, but I'm not gonna get onto that. Seabrook. Oh no, Saad. Saad's contract. I really wanted them to have a good bounce back season. Let me just see here. I'm on ESPN right now. I just need to see. Let's see. Yeah, 47 points this past season. Let's see. Oh my gosh. It doesn't have the entire... I need to see his stats. Let's go hockeyreference.com, trusted, tried and true. So yeah, I mean, he did a lot. He did a little bit better than his first year back in Chicago. This is about what he was scoring at until he got traded to Columbus. I really want to see him be able to perform just a little bit more. I want to see him break at least 50 points. And I mean, that first year coming back, I mean, he dipped pretty hard. This year he's back, but I want to see him consistently at 50 to 55 points. 47, it's still good enough. But it's crazy what a few extra points can do. I mean, it could be the difference in 2 or 3 games, whether they turn out to be wins or losses, and that'll really impact the entire season, and if we make the playoffs or not, and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't remember if I even got into where they might even finish. No, I think I did. But just in case I didn't, I'm gonna go through it again. So where I think they will finish, I want to give them. If Leonard stands on his head, and our defense improves with. So it looks like that Keith and Gustafsson are going to be sharing the first line defense. With Mata and Seabrook having the second. I mean, I like that they're trying stuff out. Keith and Seabrook seems to not be working too well. So, just kind of give them, new line mates and stuff like that. Mata and Seabrook, I really don't know what could happen with that lineup. But, I mean, again, I'm just hoping it does well. Hoping that Seabrook can, just get back to how he was, get back to his contract years and stuff like that, and actually perform up to par with how he's getting paid. So yeah, if Leonard stands on his head, our defense improves. I can see us go even up to. I can't give him 45 wins. As much as I would like to give him 45 wins, I could not see them jump up that far. I mean, Leonard will make a big difference, but it depends on how Crawford is, because I don't think we want to start Leonard in 65 games or something like that. Crawford, if he stays healthy, if he plays a good chunk of the games, and Leonard shares it with Crawford, and he just stands on his head, our defense is semi decent, and our forwards just keep producing. I could probably see us go up to 43 wins. 43. Oh man, it's hard to. I want to give them 12 overtime losses. So, yeah, I'm going to say 43. Yikes. I have to do some math in my head real quick. 8. I'll just use a calculator. Screw that. All right. So. So I'll say 43, 27, and 12. That's where I think they'll stand. Let's see, 40. Man, I gotta go back to that calculator because I need to calculate. 43 times 2. 98 points. That should put them in playoff contention. So yeah. Oh, man. It's hard to put them up that high, though. I mean, because, part of me wants to put them back at 10 overtime losses, but, I mean, if they're going to win more games, they're also going to, lose more games in overtime because they're going to be tying a little bit more. Yikes. I don't know if I can put them that high. I mean, again, this is no bias towards Chicago. You can see I'm struggling to, have them go up to 98 points compared to 84 from last year. again, if Leonard, produces the same way that he does, that he did back in on the Islanders, I could see us going up to 43 wins. But man, that's got to be that's a little overconfident. I'm not gonna lie. But hopefully we can get there. I mean, it's not gonna be overconfident if we actually do get that far, and we'll just have to see. Once the regular season plays out, once we played about a good 15 or 20 games, I'll come back to this video and I'll just do my own follow up to it. I'm not gonna change my prediction though. So with the absolute best conditions, 43, 27, and 12. That is going to be my official prediction for the regular season. I really hope that the Blackhawks can actually get that far. They should. Considering how things are, and considering if everything goes well, that should be where they end up. Just gotta cross my fingers, considering everything that's happened with the Blackhawks and the unpredictability with this team. But yeah. Anyways, before this video gets too long, it's already 21 minutes. I just woken up like about an hour and a half ago. Haven't even eaten breakfast yet. I just got up, wanted to make this video real quick, so I gotta go eat breakfast. So let me know what you guys think about this prediction in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. What teams are you cheering for, and where you think they're going to be in the at the end of the season. What do you predict will happen and stuff like that. And also, I want to touch on this real quick. So for those of you that I know someone already, very dedicated fan and everything. How do I want to say this? So I already have one very, very loyal and dedicated fan. Shout out to you. I don't need to say who you are. You know who you are. He wants to reach out and just talk about hockey and just kind of learn about the sport. If you are new to hockey and you're seeing this video and you're just watching hockey for the first time or something like that, or you've been watching hockey for about a year or so, and you want to learn more about hockey, I'm gonna go ahead and leave my my Discord down in the comments down below, and I'll also go ahead and I also have other social media that is fairly safe to leave down there. So feel free to follow me down there. Go to those places and feel free to follow me, and shoot up a message and be like, hey, I kind of want to learn more about hockey and stuff like that, or I just want to be able to talk to you and just get to talk about stuff. I'm always down for a nice good talk about hockey or just any sport in general, or gaming, or music, guitars, whatnot. I'm down to talk. So yeah. But yeah, I'll go ahead and put my Discord down below just for this video only. I'll go ahead and put my Discord because that's where you'll be able to find me the easiest. So yeah. Anyways, like I said, without this video getting any longer than it needs to be, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and so yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.